Perfection. All right, then. Hi, everyone. My name is Vesperia. I'm teaching the class all about organization. Brah! Today we're going to be covering a few different subtopics of organization, such as how to organize meetings, events, spreadsheets, organizing casting calls, and lastly, organizing Discord servers. Starting off, I'd like to preface this with the fact that there is technically no wrong way to organize. There are different techniques that work for different people. Whether you prefer Notion, Google Spreadsheets, or plain old Discord logs, that's all yours. It's about what works easiest for you and helps to keep track and solidify your own production and how you do things. We're going to start off by talking about how to organize meetings, events, and spreadsheets. Yes, this is a lot, and yes, we're going to be breaking it down. Starting off with spreadsheets, what I really mean here is planning. We're going to go through multiple ways to plan for things such as uploading, meetings, etc. First of all, I enjoy having a general calendar that my team can reference for meetings. So we're all on the same page as to when meetings and such are. This is an example of one of my calendars for one of my series. We have the spreadsheet method, which is my personal favorite scheduling tool. I organize everything differently in regards to deadlines, meetings, and uploads. We have deadlines where I have the date, time in my time zone, and sector, as well as description as to what the meeting would be in. Sector is in regards to who needs to be there. So voice actors for casting finalizations, skin makers for when skins are due, voice actors for when lines are due, buildings for when sets are due, etc. Meetings, it's the same idea. Who needs to be there? The marketing team for casting decisions, finalizations, and then lots and lots of build meetings. Another thing I have on here is lines, so I can keep track of when lines are due. In the series, I have them listed as chapters, but also episodes. What's there, what's done, what's missing, etc. I have a template for you guys if you do enjoy that method in the chat. Feel free to copy it, use it if you'd like. But yeah. Spreadsheets are very useful for a whole bunch of things, and you can send them out to as many people as you want. You can add different sections in here, copy and paste your setup, and keep going until you have as much as you need / want. There are, of course, other ways to schedule and organize. Some people prefer calendars. Notion is an amazing tool for that. You can make an account and getting started. They have a whole bunch of different templates. They have to-do lists. They have regular calendars. They have a whole bunch of things. One of my favorite things on Notions would be the projects and task lists, where you can continuously add different tasks, set their status as to what status they are, in progress, planning, yet to plan, how high of the priority they are at, and their completion status. And continuously work on that. It's a great way to figure out how much you need to do, when you need to do it by, and in what priority there is. Because I feel like we get very caught up on little things when bigger things should take priority. For example, I really love script writing. I love writing a whole million scripts. But I know I should be recording, and 80% of the time I am script writing. So it really helps you organize your time and figure out exactly when and what you need to do. Any questions on any of that? There's also like Google calendars you could use and etc. Few seconds for questions on the spreadsheets, etc. What's the name of the website again? The website's called Notion. For more in-depth things on how to use it, there's a whole bunch of tutorials and such on YouTube. They have a whole bunch of different templates, blog generators, AI crap, marketing templates to organize different social media posts, etc. It's very useful for a whole bunch of things, and I highly recommend it. I don't use it probably as much as I should. Scheduling the content calendar. Hell yeah. Like, please, I got you, fam. Going to the actual website. That's crazy. All right. I swear. Fox is working with me. All right. Continuing on, let's explain a bit about general scheduling. We're going to talk about how to actually plan for these meetings and events. There are 3 major things that go into planning for an event or a meeting. You need to know exactly what is going to happen, who the topic is important to, and when it's going to occur. Let's run through an example. Let's say you're having a script read through with your cast. You know that you're going to be reading a script, obviously, but how much of it? What characters are needed? Let's say the script is about 60 pages long. That means it will take about an hour to read through if the script is in standard form, in which case every page would be about a minute long. So for the sake of this, let's say we're cutting it in half and splitting it up into 2 meetings. In this first one, we're only going to be going over the first 30 pages. Now, who needs to be there? Voice actors, obviously. So with that being said, since we split the script in half, all of the VAs may not have to come. So instead of adding all of them in my message for the meeting, I'm only going to be adding the voice actors and who need to attend. For final notes in your message to your cast, you should always be professional and concise, explain what's happening, who specifically needs to be there, and always notify your cast at least a week in advance of the meeting. That way, it's not a surprise to anyone. It also is important to do your best to schedule according with your cast, ask them for availability, do your best to schedule around that. Of course, there's always the possibility that some won't be able to come. That's completely okay. Scheduling is the hardest part of working. It's near impossible to find a time that works for all people involved. Find other options to ensure people are up to date. If it's an important meeting, write a meeting summary afterward and have a private meeting with those people. Any questions about any of that? Yes. 197 pages only? You're right. Episode 1 being 60 pages. But Kim! When going into meetings, besides script reviews, say you're having a meeting with your moderation, and you have different things you know you need to bring up, I recommend having a list of beats. That could be as simple as, hey, 1, say hi to everyone. 2, talk about announcements. What announcements? I'm starting a series. There's going to be a fan event. Okay, what else are we talking about? You get the gist. There should always be at least Let's go! Lines! What? But you should always have a general idea. If you're a little bad at public speaking like I am sometimes, I also like to write scripts. Use the script I'm going up for this class. Scripting is my favorite hobby. All right. Any questions on planning for meetings/events? All right, I'll take that as a no. Next up, we're going to be talking a little bit about organizing casting calls. Again, there is no wrong way to go about this. However, an organized casting call can definitely be 10 times more appealing to voice actors or other roles looking at your project. We're going to be starting with deadlines, and hell, I'll bring up casting call and do it along. It's my dashboard. Projects created. And that's not how you create projects. Guys, it's right there. Example. This is going to be a great project. All right. So, starting with deadlines, take a look at your spreadsheet. Say that I want to start my production in August. I already have my scripts written, and I'm ready to start looking for a cast while I finish up sets. I want the casting call to be up for about a month so that people have a chance to find it. So, let's set the deadline to about July 25th. Yep. One tip I'll give about deadlines is that no matter what deadline you set, from 2 weeks to 6 months, I wouldn't necessarily recommend casting earlier than that deadline. You never know who could come along in that time, and besides that, it's about building up trust with your cast before they're even casted. Next, you need to write a carefully formulated... Get out of here. Next, you'll want to write a project overview. 3 things that you need to include in a summary of the project would be the requirements for joining your cast, as well as what is expected of your cast. Lastly, it's always nice to have pictures and renders of your characters on each bit, but it's more important to have good dialogue that shows you, as a director, the actor's range, and notes for the actors, how prevalent the role is, personality details, pitch, tone, etc. I know people have quite a bit of questions about pitch. Pitch is the actor's range, whether you're looking for a deep voice, medium voice, high voice, etc. Any questions on that before I continue on with how to formulate a good project overview? No. That's so bad. Can you find builders and actors Minecraft on casting call? 100%. Casting call isn't necessarily formulated in a way in which you could simply go up there and press, builders, actors. But you can definitely press actor and specify body actor and what you want in the actual casting call overview. I'd make sure to make it very specific in both regards. This role builds in this style. This role needs to be able to build medieval, or this role needs to be able to landscape very well. Things like that. In actors, I'd also list what times and availability you're thinking would be the most good for you in regards to scheduling actors. Make sure to be very clear and concise in your in formulating what you need and what you want from an actor and a builder. Not body act. Yep. All right. Continuing on to formulating a project overview. For the sake of this, I'm going to make up a random idea. First of all, I recommend utilizing the options they give you in regards to bolding things, italicizing things, heading things even, etc. I like to head the series name a lot of the time, so I'm going to be using obdurate marks, project summary. You're going to want to put a few sentences about your project, preferably in more detail, but this is a magic project. It is medieval. Our main character is Lucy Gray. And we follow her life. Obviously a bit more detailed, but a few sentences explaining what the project is. I tend to go a little bit overboard on these, but you really don't need to. Continuing on, requirements for voice actors. Say you have a certain style of audio you want. .mp3 and .wave formats only, 16 plus, things like that. Communicative. Yeah, I can't spell. And what's expected of a cast. Say you have specific guidelines for your VAs, must be able to follow VA guidelines, must be able to work on 2-week deadlines, things like that. Just be very clear about what you're expecting from your VAs and what your VAs can expect from you. As for, say, making a character, Lucy Gray here for real, not ripping off the Hunger Games a little bit. Again, I recommend utilizing bold features, etc. Oh, but it appears white here, so we're not doing that for the sake of being able to read. Name, Lucy Gray. Pronouns / gender, female, she, her. Role, Lucy Gray is the main character of the series. She's spontaneous, adventurous, and really outgoing. And then pitch / tone. I'm looking for a medium or a medium deep range. You can obviously add more or take less. I also like adding some backstory, some more details as to who the character is, so that the voice actor has an idea going into it. But that's basically the prevalence of at least giving your voice actors and your cast something to expect, something to look at, something to be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. So it's easier for them in the audition process. Any questions on that? Okay, I will take that as a no. Continuing on. A question? But I made a second souffle and you didn't send me one? What the heck, man? We're beefing. Alright. Next, we're going to look at how to organize Discord servers. So let me share my full screen. Yes. Just like that. Please tell me I have enough servers to make a server. Please tell me I'm not at 100 servers. Please. Please. Let's go! Alright. So when it comes to creating a server, it's very important, at least in my opinion, to have a fairly organized layout so that it's easy to find everything. No one's confused. No one's shuffling through a million channels trying to figure out where they need to be, what they need to look at. It should be fairly simple, concise, etc. There's a lot of ways you could organize a server. It really depends on, say, if you're doing multiple projects, how you want to go about doing those projects, etc. I personally have a main server where all of my cast and crew are at, so I can send big announcements where everyone needs to be informed. And I have multiple smaller servers in which are for those individual productions that I'm working on. And just for the cast and crew of those. So with that being said, we can actually go and take a look at some of those. Starting off, I think it's good to have a quote-unquote lobby chat, as I like to call it, which is where your main announcements and just things everyone needs to know would be located at. That would include lobby. That would include an announcements category. That would include, say, video uploads, general information about the characters, etc. So let's quickly make that. I also like to separate my announcements into multiple, like 2 sectors. Announcements would be used for announcements in relation to halt in production or things that I definitely need to add everyone about. I'd like to have a secondary chat called update logs for just cool things that I'm doing, sneak peeks of the series, updates in regards to specific parts of production, etc. These are typically chats that you don't necessarily want anyone to talk in. So with that being said, you can hop over to edit category, permission at everyone can view the channel, but at everyone can't send messages in the channel. Continuing on, you'll also probably want staff chats for your, say, mods and admins and such of the like. This is more pertaining to you and how your team runs, but we'll add a mod chat down there. Continuing on, general chats, just for people to talk, have fun. Introductions. I love introductions chat. Gets everyone at least saying something, promotes a bit of activity. It's great. You can also add VCs and media chat for media. Again, it depends on how you personally would like to organize your server. I personally go a little overboard on chats because I can. But art chats, quotes chats, working VCs, etc., all up to you there. Then me personally, I like to add separate chats for my different crews. We'll go over one for just regular crew. You could really copy and paste it for anyone on. And then voice actors, I like to go in a bit more specifics. I know I just collapsed you. Why did you uncollapse yourself? Thank you. I like to have a specific updates chat for each one of the crew, which would act more as an announcements chat, where I would say, for example, when things were happening, updates as to who needs to do what I'm expecting, progress updates, etc. A scheduling chat for when I'm scheduling things. That's not a chat, Vess. That's a category. Good job. You ate that. Anyway, a scheduling chat for scheduling things. I can at people, I can make sure times work, I can notify them of when I'm scheduling things. This would probably also be where I'd pin my spreadsheet if I decided to do a spreadsheet for separate crew members in particular, which I used to do, but I stopped doing in favor for the larger spreadsheets. Next up, availability. That's a category again, Vess. Good job. Availability for members to be able to post their availability so they can tell you when they can make meetings, when they can't. So it's not a surprise as to, say, if you scheduled something on a Wednesday, and most people can go on Wednesdays, but one person can't. Post that there, and if they've told you, it makes a clear line of communication between you and your cast for such. Then also a VC for meetings. fairly clear and concise. Of course, that's a category. That's not a VC. It's very concise, etc. Of course, you can add other things, discussions. For builders, I'd also probably add like a Pinterest chat or images chat for the style I'm looking for different build types. For skin makers, I'd probably make a chat for the base skins, any turnarounds, HD skin turnarounds, otherwise art chats, etc. Writers, same idea. I'd probably make a scripts chat, etc. Next up, the voice actors chat. Make a category. For this, I do it a little bit different than I do most of them. I feel like voice actors is what at least I put the most into in regards to my production, because I work alone in a lot of my field. But for voice actors, it's fairly similar in regards to updates. I also add scripts. I'm typically hit with a lot of questions as to what I expect from my voice actors. Even if you put it in the casting call, they're bound to come. What formats, how many takes, etc. So for that, I have a guidelines chat where I specify MP3 or WAV, 2 takes max, etc. That kind of stuff. Hello, father. 2 seconds, please. I'm back. I know my father's gonna come back in 2 seconds, but it's okay. We'll continue anyway. Troopers. So one of my favorite chats that aren't listed unless you turn on a certain option would be the forums chat. For that, you need to enable the community, get started. You're going to be required to turn on Discord's explicit media content filter and the email verification requirement. It'll make you select your rules chat, community updates, which typically I set as a mod chat because I don't like Discord coming in and taking my server. But hey, we'll set it to update log for this. You have to agree and understand a bunch of rules, and then you're good. For this, that's also how you get the setup onboarding and make people answer questions for roles. That's a whole bunch of cool things. It also puts new right next to 80% of your chats. But that's where you get the forum and stage chats, which is how I like to set up chats for pronunciations. With that, you can add certain lists for character names. Hello, father. Give me 2 seconds.
Welcome back.
Sorry, continuing. One day I won't be interrupted. Trust. Okay. Continuing on, as I was saying, you can set up different chats for different purposes with this. I like organizing it by character names, places, and I do a lot of fantasy, so we have a bunch of interesting titles such as Sovereign, Arbiter, etc. Things like that, where it may not be obvious for how people should pronounce certain things, or perhaps you just want, I don't know. Yeah, I think even if the name's obvious, it's good to have that bit of, hey, this is definitely how you say it. It's also nice sometimes to have it on your sheet. I don't have this included on the spreadsheet, but you can definitely add another layer and add all of the different pronunciations.
Also, it's like a MP3 where they say the pronunciation and stuff.
Yeah, I can show that.
It's super cool.
Over here. Yep.
Oh my life. So yeah, it's like a pronunciation of everything. It's really nice.
Yep. Raw. Going back and forth through my tabs on my phone for real. Continuing on, it's also good to have a questions forum for people to ask questions. Let's be clear, they're more likely to DM you, but it's good to have that space. And then also, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I'm guilty.
No, that's surreal, because I would not use one of those chats unless they told me not to DM them. And then the credits chat for all your voice actors and hell, all of your cast to message your credits. It's good to have one of those chats in all of these separate places. I tend to only have it in the voice actors chats because I'm a mess in terms of I have everyone else DM them to me. But that's about it for the main voice actors place. You could also add what I'm about to add there as well, but I like creating a separate category for line submissions. This is because I go a bit more specific into how I like to do inline submissions. I prefer it when my voice actors send me their lines scene by scene in regards to episode by episode. It's what works easier for me in regards to when I go through and edit all of the lines together in Audacity before recording them. So I typically use forms to do that. I'll do episode 1, and then I'll do scene 1 with typically my cast list. I can show you guys that as well. And I'd keep going through until all of the scenes are there, scene 2, etc., etc. And then I do fairly similar as well when it comes to Minecraft movies, where I'll go movie 1 and then continuously go down the scene. That's a category. That's not a forum. But you could also definitely do it in categories if you prefer that and you prefer using chats. I personally just like forums better because when you're done with a scene and when you've already edited it, you can also close the post. So you're only looking at what you need to do / what voice actors need to get lines in for. And it becomes a little less cluttered than having a million different chats falling down that you can't necessarily collapse as easily. It makes it so you're just looking at what you need to be looking at instead of everything. And at least for me, it takes down the stress notch at least a little bit. I can show you an example of that with object marks. We have our different episodes / in this it's technically chapters, but episodes. And then I have the cast list, who needs to turn in lines, what scenes they're in for that chapter, and then they'll all turn them into scenes. For the movie, another good one, Rise to the Throne, all of the different scenes, who's required in that scene, and continuing down to the older posts. It all depends on what you like doing the most, what you're most comfortable with in regards to basis, and what stresses you out the least. Any questions on that? It is.
Yeah.
Nothing is comfortable anymore. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you tried taking out all of your teeth? It might help you. That's about all I had. Is there anything that I didn't cover that you guys would like me to talk about? Or anything you guys would like advice on, etc., etc.?